You are listening to a One Pint Stand, a Minnesota craft beer podcast that tells the stories of craft beer in Minnesota and beyond. So kick back, relax, and grab a cold one. The show starts now. Hello, and happy Father's Day, and happy Pride Month to all who celebrate. My name is Dan Bobian, and I write, produce, and host a One Pint Stand. I'm ecstatic that you're listening. This episode is proudly sponsored by 56 Brewing Company. 56 is a family-friendly, dog-friendly brewery in northeast Minneapolis, committed to crafting community, one beer at a time. On this episode of a One Pint Stand, I went to St. Paul's Lowertown to get subterranean with Gambit Brewing's head brewer Josh Secor and owner Mike Christensen. We had a fantastic conversation ranging from the beers on tap to the Gambit ethos of inclusion. Being that it is Pride Month, I think it was kismet to find out that Gambit is proudly a place for everyone, and that definitely includes the GLBTQ plus community. Of course, the level of openness and inclusivity isn't just during Pride Month, but all year round at Gambit. So let's head out to the Gambit Brewing tap room for my beer chat with Mike and Josh. Cheers. Welcome to another on-location episode of a One Pint Stand. I'm your host, Dan Bobian, and I feel like the universe definitely had a plan for today's podcast because I'm here in Lowertown in St. Paul at Gambit Brewing, a brewery where you have to walk down the stairs. And yesterday, on May 20th, George Wendt passed away. One of my, I don't know if this is weird to say out loud, but my childhood heroes, Norm from Cheers. And ever since the first time I visited Gambit, shortly after you all opened, I'm like, oh, this is like Cheers.
Yeah.
I like it. So, and I'm being joined by Mike and Josh. Thank you both so much for taking time to join me. I know I've been trying to get in here and talk to you guys for a while. So, thank you very much for having me.
Yeah,
I'm drinking this Old Friend German Pilsner, and it is delicious.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I like that. I like beer-flavored beer, and it's got that nice Saaz bite. Very refreshing. Even though it's raining cats and dogs out there, it's refreshing. This is any weather type of beer. So,
For sure, yeah.
Yeah. So before we get into the nuts and bolts of the conversation, I'd like if each of you could introduce yourselves, give me your name, your role at the brewery, and then I want to know your favorite beer style to drink. I want to know your favorite Gambit beer, and this is going to probably alienate half of the 7 listeners. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Very controversial.
All right. Well, so I'm Josh Secor. I am the co-owner and brewer here at Gambit. As far as styles I like to drink, I mean, I'm a brewer that I still drink hazies, but I lean more pilsners. Right now, kind of the only beer I'm drinking is this a new beer we put out, a Belgian white ale called Space Ghost.
That just dropped, right?
Just dropped.
Okay,
And
I'll have to try that too.
it's going to be a problem because the staff is drinking more than the public is.
Oh boy, we have to have we're going to do staff training. You're going to have to do some sort of shock collar. Again, here we're back to Cheers. Remember that episode where they had that shock collar for Cliff, and they had to, like, every time you could do that. Every time somebody pulls, like, they get a little jolt.
That may work. And is a hot dog a sandwich? I believe a hot dog is a sandwich. I don't know where Mike stands on this, but I mean, Mike is more of a hot dog authority.
Very controversial.
Yeah, well, I'm Mike Christensen. I am co-owner, also a front of the house menu development when it comes to the food and the hot dogs. So,
The sandwiches.
We'll get to that.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Right, we're talking about favorite style of beer. I'm really into classic Belgians is what I really like to drink. Space Ghost is a great one that we have right now. But with that being said, my favorite Gambit beer is probably our Indoorsman, which is kind of our house hazy
Okay.
IPA. Just kind of my go-to. It's the right ABV for me. It's just the perfect beer
Yeah.
for me at this time. And then the hot dog thing, I'm going to say it's its own entity. I don't think you would say a burger is a sandwich necessarily either, right? So a hot
fair.
dog.
I wouldn't.
So a hot dog.
What do I know? I'm just.
The hot dog's in its own world.
Yeah.
It's the wiener.
Hey. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's a sandwich. I think it's its own thing. But if you think it's a sandwich, that's cool. We can all
2 against 1.
we can. That's right. Majority rules. Yeah. So the other polarizing food question I usually ask is pizza best in squares or triangles? And in Minnesota, people love square pizza. I despise square pizza. I'm a triangle guy. I like to fold it and just like go to town. And you have both. So, I mean, that could be, if we ever wanted to do a Lincoln Douglas style debate live show here, we could do that.
That would be
Like,
fun.
is a hot dog a sandwich? Is pizza squares or triangles?
Depends on the crust.
Totally.
Oh, here we go.
Totally
Yes, that's
Pub crust, square.
square.
okay. Yeah.
New York style crust, triangle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yes.
But we agree on one thing. It's the first time in like 5 years.
Yes,
that we've
exactly.
agreed. But
Well, hey, that's at a 1 pint stand, we can bridge any gap and mend any fence that needs to be. If you've been arguing about hot dogs for 5 years, come on the show. We'll make it all better. So I'm curious about kind of like your careers in beer. Was Gambit kind of like your first foray into craft beer? Or tell me about your careers in beer.
Yeah, so I started, in the beer industry. I worked for corporate restaurants for a long time.
Okay.
In the food and beverage program, menu development, training, all that kind of fun stuff. I decided I didn't want to be on the road anymore, training, teaching people I loved, but just missing my family, things going on. So I decided to take a calculated risk and open a small little brewery in Roberts, Wisconsin called Bobtown Brewery and Bobtown Brew House before that. So I opened that place, and it was a farm-to-table restaurant and brewery. We were really small, 1 barrel with a couple 2-barrel fermenters. And the goal was just to be a little small boutique in a small community, use as much local farm goods as we could. When it came from hops, we're all kind of local, all that kind of stuff. So a lot of it for me was getting in there early and teaching the community in our area another way for cash crop, because corn was really low at the time too. So we started working with people growing hops and malts and different things.
Okay.
And guide them into a new, cash crop thing.
Okay. Interesting.
And that was, years ago. And then we were kind of literally leading into the pandemic, and the brewer fell in love with her girlfriend and moved to Raleigh, and still is a head brewer out at Brewery Bavana out there. But Josh was a good friend of mine, amazing brewer, and I was like, hey, I can't pay you, but I have all this equipment.
But I give a great back rub after a long, hard day of shucking grain bags.
Right.
he owes me a few back rubs.
Right. But, we have all this equipment here. The pandemic's coming. I don't know what it's going to be. Like, I don't know what it looks like at this time. And that's where we kind of grew together and knew we wanted to expand and get bigger and everything else. And kind of how we ended up where we are today and not out where we were.
Okay.
Yeah. I will leave some of the politics out of it.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We can get political if we want.
Right.
Very, very fired up these days.
Right.
How about you, Josh?
So I started out my beer journey as a home brewer. My dad bought me a homebrew kit in like 2001. and I made some terrible beer on the stove for years. And then once I had kids, all of a sudden I didn't have any money to go out and buy beer anymore. So the days that, my wife would go out with her mom or friends or whatever, and I was babysitting. I think it's supposed to be called parenting, but if you're a dad, sometimes they call it babysitting. Okay, boys, we're gonna brew beer, and went down a real deep rabbit hole that I'm sure my wife wishes I never would have went down, but started making some pretty good beer, more and more and more. I got into the kind of the YouTube home brewing community and met a ton of guys all over the country, and it got really out of control. And then when Katie left Bobtown, Mike said, "Hey, can you, what do you think?" I said, "That's an insane idea. That'll never work. I'll help you for a month." And that turned into 2.5 years at Bobtown. And then this space in Lower Town came open, and somebody said, "You guys are interested. I know a place that's got a brewery that's all set up. It's just on mothballs."
Yeah, really. I mean,
It was walk-in ready. Everything was here. We just had to paint, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we came in and did cosmetics in the tap room and gave it our feel, and basically kicked the rust off the tanks and fired it up. And to a lot of people's credit that were here before us, 12 Eyes was in this space before us, and I've since met all of those guys, and they're all great guys. They're all sprinkled around the cities, and all friends of mine that I can call for, "Hey, this is a weird thing that I've never seen before on this tank. Like, do you remember?"
What's with this femur under the floorboard?
Yeah,
Did you use that to brace the door open?
We don't talk about the hole in the corner, but
I hear a moaning in the. Interesting. So, okay, I have to know, because this is a quirky place.
For sure.
Just like the logistics of it all.
Mm-hmm.
So for people who don't know or have never been here before, it's not like, we've all been to breweries where you walk in, you see the brewing equipment there. That's not the case here.
No.
So your brew house is located down a hallway through a couple different doors that are like, you need a key fob.
You need a special fob to get through.
You have to grease the palm of the concierge to get in there. And so it's quirky.
It's quirky, yeah. It's about 100 yards away through a hallway from the tap room. We have a cooler space that's another different space for there too. But the way it's set up, we make it work.
Yeah. Were you looking, when you were kind of like trying to figure things out, where to go? What was it about this space in particular where you were like, okay, it's got its pros and cons? I mean, you're in Lower Town, which, there's a lot of people down here. Mm-hmm. And, certainly pre-pandemic was a very hot spot.
Yeah.
The Saints play there, and, that's great. It's a great venue for baseball, and they do other activities there. You're in close proximity to a couple other breweries. Mm-hmm. Barrel Theory, Metronome is open probably since you guys opened, or did they open beforehand?
Just before us.
Just before.
Yeah, okay. So, that's always good, because when people go to breweries, they don't just stay at one place. They kind of like to brewery hop. Mm-hmm. Old man Bobby in here, 46 years old. The parking is frustrating to say the least.
Sure.
So like there was, pros and cons.
Mm-hmm.
Right. What were you looking at other sites, or was it like, okay, this thing is like, all we have to do is put the key in the ignition and turn and we're going? Was that a big part of the appeal?
Yeah, I think the, turnkey thing was part of the appeal. We did have, some other things, I'll be honest. We weren't necessarily looking at moving here. We had a few options in River Falls, Wisconsin.
Okay.
That we looked at beforehand. Just some of the stuff didn't pan out. And, we're called Gambit because it is a calculated risk right now as a brewery. And, we really had lower investment. by coming in here. The equipment was here, everything was here. I lived in Lower Town for years.
Oh, okay.
And I think, with some things after the pandemic closing the way it was, Lower Town needs businesses here to bring everything back, right? So to help be in that forefront and be part of the community and help everything advance and go forward is another reason why, we kind of talked about this space and kind of ended up here is, we knew day one was going to be a hard journey, right?
Yeah.
Because of everything that was going on in Lower Town and, just not a lot of stuff open. But if people don't take that risk, nothing's ever going to open.
Right.
Right. So we wanted to be part of that forefront and pushing it and be engaged in the community and the arts that are down here.
Yeah, there's a lot of good things. And I think, it really helps you understanding kind of like the day-to-day routine of this area. I think it's hard to really fully wrap your brain around an area's potential unless you really live there and you're talking to people in the on your way to the farmers market and understanding that no, there's still stuff going on.
Yes.
And I think it's like it's like what came first, the chicken or the egg? Is our places closing because people aren't going, or are people not going because there's not enough places opening? I think that it's very complicated.
Yes, it very much is, very complicated. And, and you have part of a lot of it's government buildings around here, and that's coming back. And so we're going to see a little bit more foot traffic just in general by having that, and we know, that necessarily the workers coming back aren't that happy about it. And if there's anyone listening that works for the state or, the city, that if you show your badge, it's happy hour all the time. So we want to make sure there's a perk for you coming back to our community and in the office. So
I'll tell you what, one thing that can turn a bad day happy real fast is a couple nice ice cold old friend Pilsners here, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's wonderful. So conventional wisdom says that, if you brew good beer, that should be enough to keep the doors open. Now, over the last couple of years, we've seen places go out of business, and it wasn't because their beer was bad. It's a difficult time in craft beer right now, and I guess my question for both of you is this narrative that's kind of going around that craft beer is kind of on life support, is that reality, or is it kind of hyperbolic doom and gloom? And what steps are you taking, and what steps does the industry as a whole need to take to make sure we kind of can get back to firm footing, I guess you could say?
Mm-hmm. Well, for us, I mean, I'm happy to stand behind our beers. I think we do pretty solid stuff, but good beer doesn't just do it anymore. So we're super proud of our staff here. Our staff is amazing. We haven't had hardly any turnover since we opened. So we do kind of pride ourselves on that cheers thing where you walk down the stairs and like you're in a place where no matter where you come from, who you are, like we got a spot for you, it'll be fun. I kind of don't buy the thought that the industry is dying. It's a little bit of a correction maybe, but our model where like we're not out in a ton of liquor stores, we're not trying to push into grocery stores. Like we just want to do what we do well, and you might have to come here to get it.
Yeah.
But and then if
and that's a proven model.
Yeah.
Dangerous Man, like they, at least in Minnesota, were really kind of the first people to kind of like, no, we're going to have you come here for our stuff. And that works. And I think that still is a pretty sound way to do it.
Yeah. And I think you have to look at the business model as differently. Like everyone's changing, right? So what people expect is changing. They want more offers. Yeah. So anything you can do in your establishment to offer more to your guests and put more on the plate for them to choose, you're more likely to get them in because it's just not going up to the counter and grabbing a beer and sitting down and getting a 4-pack. It's just that's not where we're at. People want variety and they want it fast. I mean, that's just kind of what it became. And it's, you know, I study it a lot. I study restaurant trends and everything going on. And they're talking more and more about, you know, what is the future of restaurants even, you know, 10 years down the road and breweries because of DoorDash and things, people just ordering and just going home. You know, they're over 65% of most restaurant sales are now takeout.
That's so crazy.
And not just sit down, you know. So you kind of look at all those little things and how do you navigate that and how do you create a Cheers environment, right?
Yeah.
And that it's a social place, it's a safe place for everyone to come in and relax and create friendships.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to do, is that it's just not at home ordering it, watching Netflix or playing video games, that bring back that little bit more of that social aspect and make it comfortable. And that's what I really kind of like when we talked about the brewery's not there, right? It brings the room to feel a little more like a bar or a little bit like a speakeasy and a little more comfortable with lower ceilings. And that to me was a big sell. With just navigating where we're going in breweries and what people might want. So,
well, and this does have a unique cozy feel. Right. And I think before we started recording, I was telling Josh, I'm like, I know it's like the same square footage that the previous brewery was, but this just feels cozier.
Right.
And just like more comfortable. And I don't know why that is. But I like it. I mean, and I had been to 12 Eyes a bunch of times, and you know their beers were good, and I like the atmosphere. But like, this just feels more, not low key, but just like, I'm comfortable here, which is nice.
That was the goal.
Yeah, Well, mischief managed. How would you describe? I guess we kind of just did, but like for somebody who's never been here, what can they expect when they visit Gambit? If people are listening and they're like, well, I haven't made it over there yet, why should they come in and what will they find?
I don't know. We kind of like to say
grade A back rubs from Mike. We've established that.
Yes. But it kind of feels, you know, kind of that speakeasy, a little bit of dive bar feel to it, you know.
I love the roller dogs.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, that's a great. Yeah. I don't know why every brewery doesn't have those.
Right. I'm working on
sandwiches
a
or not.
menu.
They're delicious.
But yeah, so I think you're gonna, you know, you walk down into it. It's not gonna feel like a regular brewery just because of the way it's designed. It feels a little more like an upscale dive bar. Yeah. You know, it's what I say. It's a little darker and cozier. But
I want to ask you a question, because dive bar, like that's a big thing right now. How do you define dive bar?
Well, the one thing we don't have is the worn out bar from the glasses being slid on. You know,
we'll get Brad.
We're getting there. Yeah, we're working on that. But, you know, I think the dive bar is what you really feel comfortable, like growing up with your dad. The bar your dad took you to in Wisconsin or even small town.
I was going to say, because you guys are from Wisconsin, so that's very much part of the culture there.
Yeah, and just that small town little bar with, you walk in, everyone turns their head because you might not be from town and stares at you. We eliminate that by having a jukebox on, but so they don't hear the door open. Right, exactly. But just that kind of weird little warm, just heartfelt, small. I mean, all the farmers kind of chattering, like the community spot where they all meet, and it's just a little kind of shady.
I mean, that's the community part is what I like best about this place, because I live in rural Wisconsin in the middle of nowhere, and then I come to downtown St. Paul every day for work, so it's a little bit of a culture shock. But I like knowing that if I'm in the back brewing and I come up at 4:30, I know Chris is going to be sitting in his spot finishing out his workday with his laptop because that's where Chris sits when he comes into work every day.
Right.
And the people that we see every day and the people that we kind of can build that community. We have a huge group of, to be frank, nerds on Monday nights that they come in and they bring the nerdiest board games but it's a huge group of them now because they all know this is a place they can come on Mondays and play. I don't even know what games.
I don't either.
But it's a great group of people.
See, that's awesome.
The community is what really does it,
right.
I think.
Yeah, and and Nick, the bartender's younger brother, really built that. He was like, I really want to do this game thing and like have it, own it.
Yeah.
And that's what's great about our staff is they want to do it. We give them the freedom. Like, you build it. You own this piece. We'll back you. We'll do whatever we have to back you. But you grow this piece of our business for us.
Yeah.
Because we can't do it without you.
Well, and then there's you said you have like virtually no turnover. Like if people feel like they're a part of something special,
right,
they're gonna love coming here to work. They're gonna look forward to their shift, and they're gonna feel like you said, they have a part. They play a role.
Yep.
I think that's I think the locals, the regulars, it's the lifeblood of a craft brewery. I know that I was talking to Matt and Rob over at Wandering Leaf, and they're like, the minute they opened, they became the bar for the entire Ethiopian population over there.
Yeah.
And I noticed it when I went there. I went there the weekend that they opened, and I was like, oh my God, I have not seen this much diversity in a tap room in Minnesota ever.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like their place. Like that is like the gathering spot for that whole community, and it's great. And they just like have come to love it. And now, as I was Matt was telling me, he's like, now they're starting to bring their wives in because now it's been deemed like, okay, this is a good place. And so it's like, I'm like, all right, well, are they okay with it? I'm like, well, this is just a guy's thing, But like inclusive environment, and like people feel comfortable.
Right.
Like this, it's not that hard of an equation to accomplish that. Yet there are so many people that kind of miss the mark on that. But like, I love when a place has like a theme night, and I'm not just talking because I feel like everybody does Trivia Mafia.
Yep.
That was cool, like unique back in the day. But to have those like different unique things, to set yourself apart from the other places down the street and kind of create that personality. I think that's important because at the end of the day, the beer, the vibe, the staff, it's all creating a craft beer experience. I mean, that's why people love coming here. And I like the fact that I like dive bars because I don't like fancy. I'm
sure.
People as you can tell. I'm not I like really nice food, but I want to learn how to make it at home.
Sure.
I'm not the act of getting dressed up stresses me out. And so I don't like I like to just come and be no frills, and that's why if any place is even dive bar adjacent, I'm like, oh, I like this way better.
Right.
Then there are some tap rooms around town that feel a little stuffy, that feel a little sterile, and it's this doesn't have. There's no personality here.
Sure.
I like personality. I like, if I don't want to feel bad if I accidentally spill a beer,
right?
Which I very rarely do because it's alcohol abuse. But I like that low key vibe. Now, you do a lot of music. You're a musician.
Yes.
And, the guy behind the bar right now is DJ Scallybrad.
That's correct.
I know that now he does every other Thursday he's spinning records?
He's pretty much here every Thursday unless he needs off, and then we have stuff fill in.
Yeah. So that's kind of a unique thing. I don't know how many there's a few other breweries that do vinyl nights. I can't really think of any offhand that come to mind, but I think that's a unique.
Yeah,
I guess when I think of this place, I think of unique music.
Yeah.
Because you do live music as well.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
We try to do live music every Saturday, and now we're getting a little more into my world of music, I guess, and punk and having punk bands and a little more kind of, underground, queer friendly, queer positive rock and roll things going on.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I'll, not to be too political, but there's a lot of stuff going on with the trans community.
Yeah.
Anti-trans, quitting, queer suicide hotlines. And we really want to emphasize on that and let that moment of anger and let them party with that moment of punk and anger, and just it's a good way to have a release, and and invite everyone in to have that moment for their friends and colleagues or themselves. So
thank you for doing that.
Yeah,
that's so fucking important, because I agree. There's a lot of hatred, and it's just it's born out of ignorance, and I don't care. Everybody deserves to be welcome,
right?
And let's just, how about we just respect people,
right? And that's why part of the reason why we did our taps the way they are, it is the pride flag. When you look at it, we wanted people to know that in downtown St. Paul there aren't a lot of really safe places for the community to go to.
Yeah.
For trans, queer, everyone, so that they are welcome here and to know like you're going to be safe here.
Yeah.
We respect you. You can cry on our shoulders, we'll cry on yours. Like,
yeah.
This is a place for everyone to be and feel safe in our community. So.
Well, that's great, and I'm glad. I hope that people. So, if you're listening, spread the word. Like, it's really important for different kind of marginalized groups to know, like, okay, this place is cool. Like, this place is good, and not only, I mean, I think it's one thing to say that you're an inclusive space for different people, but like leaning into it and providing programming and music and activities and different things to really like not just be a safe space, but to affirm everybody under that umbrella is so important, especially now. But it should be important no matter what the political climate is. Yeah. And I applaud you. I think that's like, it shouldn't be. It's very sad that we're in a situation where like people feel like, okay, I can't talk about this great stuff that I'm doing, but yet here we are.
Right.
So I'm really happy that you all do that. That's very important to me, just as a human being, as a teacher, as a a friend to a lot of different people who identify as all sorts of different ways. Exactly. And I just always want there to be I want there to be space for everybody. That's like my pie in the sky thing, and it's not that hard. No. We're all humans, and we all deserve to be loved. We all deserve to be included, and everything. So I was happy to hear that's happening here. What beers do actually? You know what? Okay, I've got an empty glass. Now is probably a great time to take a little bit of an intermission. Sure. And refuel with a little bit more loudmouth soup here, and we're at we're down in the we're beating the rain here on these comfy couches in the lounge area in the corner of Gambit Brewing, and I'm here with Josh and Mike, and we're having a great time. So we're gonna go get a refill, and we'll come back in a second. You are listening to a 1 Pint Stand. Hey, thank you so much for listening. Hopefully, you're enjoying a 1 Pint Stand. My aim is to help spread the word about craft beer. Enjoying craft beer is a passion of mine, and I love chatting about it with other people. A 1 Pint Stand has a goal of helping breweries tell their stories. I love to get out in and beyond Minnesota to visit breweries, beer bars, and meet other interesting beer people. If you are also into those things, you will probably want to keep tabs on the show. So go ahead and follow a 1 Pint Stand on Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky. I also have a TikTok account because I was tired of Charles calling me a boomer for not having one. I would also appreciate any and all positive reviews on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you listen to your podcasts to help make it easier for other craft beer listeners to find us. If you want to be a supporter of the podcast with some of that extra change you find in your couch cushions, I have a Patreon. There are 3 different monthly levels of support, and they are priced at $1, $3, or $5 a month. If you pledge at the $3 or $5 monthly level, you get some pretty cool perks. So go to patreon.com and search a One Pint Stand to check it out. We are up to 25 supporters, and I'm really excited about what that means for the show. If you like reading about craft beer, check out our written work on aonepintstand.com. I love to write, and that's where you're going to find all my written content that covers both the local craft beer happenings as well as my craft beer travels. I truly appreciate you listening and taking time to enjoy our stories. Before we head back to the show, I want to talk about this episode's sponsor, 56 Brewing. It's more than just a place for beer. It's a women-owned, inclusive, and community-driven establishment that loves to support other small local businesses. Located in northeast Minneapolis near parks, walking and cycling trails, and just a short distance to a variety of restaurants. Their family and dog-friendly tap room is host to weekly meat raffles, trivia, live music, food trucks, and more. Check out the events calendar at 56brewing.com.
How about a beer?
All right, we're back for the second half of our interview here at Gambit Brewing. I'm here with Mike Christensen and Josh Secor, and we're having a great time. We're sitting in the corner lounge of the tap room at Gambit. We're watching DJ Scallybrad pour beers and potentially burn a pizza. I did smell a little like good. They ordered. I don't know if they ordered it al dente. I almost yelled, "What is this, amateur hour?" Oh yeah. So I want to talk a lot about the beers. We talked in the first half about kind of like how it got started, but the first beer I had was the Pilsner, the old friend. That was very good. And now I've got the Belgian Wit, which is Space Ghost.
Yes.
And this literally just came on tap.
Yep, about a week ago. Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, we're recording this on May 21st, so this will be out, sooner than later. But this is, you don't see many Belgian Wits out.
It's a style that's not out there a ton, but for me, for whatever reason, in the spring, my brain goes to Hogarten. That beer, I love it, and I don't drink a ton of it, but there's a certain that first week in May when it's like, oh, it's 75, and all I want to do is sit on the back deck and have a beer. I don't know why. Hogarten is a beer for me.
Yeah.
So this year I said, I'm going to try and, kind of do my spin on a Hogarten, and I think it came out killer, and I haven't stopped drinking it since, and I don't think anybody that works here has stopped drinking it since either. So,
it's, with great power comes great responsibility.
True, very true.
Yeah. This is really nice. It's got that refreshing. You're onto something. That Hogarten is kind of a beer that is associated with like the outdoors and just like springtime. But I like that. That coriander kind of like a little spice aroma.
Yep.
But it's really like clean. Mm-hmm. Belgian beers are, for better or for worse, very polarizing.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I don't know that it was well into a number of years where I felt like I finally kind of had the palate to really understand and appreciate Belgian beer styles. What size brew house? Like, what's your batch size?
So we're a 5-barrel brewery. We do typically like 280 barrels a year, 300 barrels a year. So we're small. We're a little fish in the big Twin Cities pond. But 5-barrel, pretty much all through the tap room. We do a ton of 4-packs out of the tap room, but most of it just goes over the bar to happy consumers. Yeah, that's good. Well, and I guess my a 5-barrel batch of. Do you feel that kind of frees you up a little bit to be maybe more creative, where you can kind of like roll the dice on a style like, well, this is the beer nerds are going to love this, but I don't know if like the average person just coming in
for a work happy hour is going to like it. What's your philosophy when it comes to brewing? Are you, I think some people, there's some breweries that kind of just brew what's trendy, what's hot. Some brewers are like, I'm going to brew all brown ales and screw everybody else. And they're the ones that are now showing up with your DoorDash order. And then there's some people like, well, I'm going to brew seasonally. I'm going to brew, kind of talk me through what when you think of like how to populate the tap lines, how do you do that?
It's kind of a cool setup for me purely as a brewer. Because we're in the basement of a residential building. So I have, the regulars that come down that Mitch is sitting over at the bar and Mitch only wants a stout. If there's not a stout,
God bless
then I got to
Mitch.
listen to Mitch.
God bless.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
You think those keyboard warriors are bad.
he is a keyboard warrior, but he'll do it to your face too. It's not great. But for me, it's kind of fun then because I know I got to make something for Mitch, but I also know that I can make the same oatmeal stout a bunch of times, or I can make different versions of this stout, and I can make Mitch kind of follow me around a little bit, so I can do things that still are interesting for me, because ultimately I'm still a home brewer at heart that just has cooler toys.
Yeah.
And the 5-barrel setup, like we go through beer quick enough that we're kind of putting new beers on once a week, once every other week.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I think is our big bonus, right? Is that we're turning beers weekly. So you can come here on Tuesday and come back next Tuesday and try something new.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that it allows us to have that freedom of variety, and you're not. God, that did not come.
Variety is not
Variety.
but sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. Webster's dictionary
correct me.
defines variety as.
Correct me.
Let's.
But we get to have a lot of different beers going, and you can come back and try something new. And I think that's really what the beer community wants.
Yeah.
A lot of it's not seeing the same thing all the time, and we can get rid of it easily too because it's a small enough batch that we can sell it and go through it and
and
then
gives
throw
you like
something else on.
optimal flexibility. Where if something, even if it's like slowly selling,
Right.
it's still not going to be hanging around. I mean, sometimes you walk into a place and it's like, hey, I remember when this came out.
The winter ale still on in
8
May.
months ago.
Yeah.
It's winter ale.
But,
I mean, I'm all about climate change, but I don't think we're going to get.
Right.
I don't think the heavy stuff's going to come down for a while. It's 4th of July.
But then the other side of that coin is we have beers that we never take off tap. Like our Backwoods Lullaby is a Kentucky Common, which is a style that you don't see a lot of places, but I don't think it's ever dropped off tap here. It's been on tap line 4 since we opened, and it will be on tap line 4 for good. But that's a beer that I can tweak and tweak and tweak.
Okay.
And I can fine tune and really dial that beer in to where we think it ultimately, I think every batch of that beer gets a little bit better.
Yeah.
And it's fun to be able to do the one-off stuff. Like we had a hazy that had passion fruit terpenes in it for a while, and it's an interesting beer. I don't need to make it again. I'll make a different version of it maybe, but then there's the beers like the After Hours Barista is a coffee blonde that we have all the time that's constantly getting the little tweaks. Every batch gets, a different strain of coffee, a different, just the little tweaks that the people that come here and drink that beer all the time, then I can explain it to them and say, oh, this is different a little bit because here's the weird thing I changed. I used Nicaraguan coffee instead of Costa Rican coffee, and it was a darker roast this time. So it's kind of cool that you can walk both sides of the coin, where you can really dial stuff in, and you can really then just do like, I don't know, this sounds weird, I'm going to try it.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's good. I always wonder about. I mean, personally, I love when I can come in and find the beer on tap that I love. Like that I really go for. Example: when I go to Arbeiter, I always have to have a Ha-Ha Pils.
Everyone does.
Like the first beer, Ha-Ha sets the palate, gets the mind right, and then I'm like, okay, what's new? And I think that it's nice to have that variety. Like back in the day, I could understand and appreciate why the tap list really didn't change that much. Maybe it was like one tap was a rotating tap of different things. But now I really do think, people do want that variety and being able to provide them with something new, something they can look forward to, but also having like the mainstays, the Kentucky Common. Last summer I went to Louisville and I went to a brewery called Trellis Brewing. So a lot of places are doing the Kolsch service. They had Kentucky Common service, and they had a guy in an apron.
Oh, I love that idea.
He walked around, and this was great. They, instead of like the Stang Kolsch glasses, they were like derby glasses that he put and it was a big deal down there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh. So Cable Lefto, the head brewer at Railworks, he also loves Kentucky Common. He brews a Kentucky Common up there.
Yeah.
And he's obsessed with it. I sent him a picture. I'm like, dude, you got to get on this thing. So
I'm gonna have to shoot Cable an email. And yeah, we could. That'd be a fun home and home kind of.
Yeah, little collab.
Yeah, for sure.
If that comes to fruition, let me know. We'll do a podcast about it.
Absolutely.
I'll dress as a horse. No. Yeah, so the Space Ghost is really delicious. I think this is gonna. Well, I mean, it already is flying at the tap room. So is this something that will get made again? I'm hoping.
Yeah, this will be on. I'll make batches of this all summer. My plan is so Lower Town Sounds is a big concert series that's up in Mears Park. That's 2 blocks from here, and this beer will be on tap at Lower Town Sounds all summer as well.
Cool.
So to me, this is the perfect sit outside and listen to music beer. This is spring summertime in a glass to me. So this one I'll keep around at least through the summer, and we'll see how long I keep drinking it for. Because if I'm still drinking it, then I'm going to keep making it.
Yeah. On a 5-barrel batch, how do you keep the Pilsner in stock?
You just
is that like
it's work. Yeah, I mean, I got to brew that thing all the time. Between that and the Helles, those 2 beers.
Yeah,
we're brewing them all the time.
Yeah, the Helles is really nice, really clean. I also like the you really get a lot of malt aroma in it. It's like very bready, which I appreciate. And me, every now and again I will go for a hazy IPA. So does your a lot of people change their hazies often, so it's tough to keep track.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what you all do here at Gambit, or is it kind of like It's a
little of both. So the endorsement will be here almost all the time.
Ooh,
and that
pineapple-y.
Yeah, that recipe stays pretty consistent. That's a ton of Strata, a little bit of Mosaic, and a little bit of Eldorado. And then we usually have at least one other hazy, if not 2, that are the weird ones that, I saw a cool hop that I hadn't tried, or just, or just kind of the one-off stuff that if I see a beer, if I try a beer somewhere, then I'm like, oh, I like that. I haven't had that hop combo before.
Yeah.
Then I can come back and, put a spin on it, kind of. So.
Okay.
But the endorsement is the one that's here all the time. If it's not here, Mike gets pissy. So.
And then he's walking around whacking people with the drumsticks and cymbals. Take that! I just gave you the Max Weinberg special.
Right.
So a lot of times when I love to go around to breweries. Now I talk to brewers and brewery owners. It's not like you have oodles and oodles of free time to go out and explore.
Right.
When you do get the chance to go out to a different craft brewery, where are some places that you really like to venture out to, or maybe as you were kind of getting off the ground, you're like, hey, the crew over here was really helpful and really receptive to questions and helped us. Who do you want to give shouts out to? Whether you just love their beers or you love the crew? And
for me, it's the neighbors up at Barrel Theory. We love those guys. We're close enough. It's a 3-4 block walk. so we constantly all of our bartenders send people up there. All of their bartenders send people down to us. We love those guys. Arbiter, the guys at Arbiter have been such a huge help to me. You know, coming from smaller scale, even 5-barrel for me. You know, when I started, I was like, this is a lot of beer to make, and those guys have been great. Carl at Haggard Barrel, you know, was one of the brewers here at 12 Eyes, and that's how I originally met him. And now I talk to Carl all the time. I love those guys. They make killer beer over there, and we've done some collabs with Arbiter and with Haggard Barrel. So
cool.
Yeah,
I've only been to Haggard Barrel once. It was super nice, like very cozy, like teeny tiny. But I love, you know, I tell people I'm a bad Minnesotan because I don't mind. Just, hey, can I share your table? Right. And you watch the Norwegians just like, oh god, clutch their pearls and begin doing their exit strategy. But yeah, I was there, and it was kind of on the. It was right after, maybe the next weekend after the Minnesota Brewers Cup, and I ran into Ben Salyards, the head brewer at Shakopee Brew Hall, came in with his partner, and then the goofballs from Heavy Rotation, well, a bunch of animals, they're crazy. Ken and everybody, they popped in. I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. This is like,
that's amazing.
It reminded me of like the early days of craft beer when you just like go out and like at Dangerous Man on a Friday night, you'd see, oh, hey, it's Brad. Yeah. Always there.
Always there.
Yeah. That's kind of like the fun special thing about this industry is like people are really helpful, and I am just amazed by how well you all support each other.
We're all kind of the same brand of nerds, so it is really like there's a ton of people we can call and say, hey, I've never run into this problem before, or I need a bag of whatever grain because I'm an idiot and I didn't order it, and it works great. I love this industry because of that, you know, camaraderie or fellowship or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's very special. And, you know, you mentioned Arbiter, like Aaron he is so knowledgeable.
Bitch.
And the and the lagers that he makes. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Just so delicious. And he's one of the most humble people I think I've ever met.
Yep.
And for him to win so many awards with that Ha Pills, it just it really makes me happy. You know, like it's well deserved because he's been in the industry a long time. Came from Town Hall, so you know, got the tutelage under. You know, Town Hall is they're OG. Mm-hmm. They don't make a bad beer. I don't think they're capable of it. Like it's just so good and so consistent. And I, you know, talked to Mike over there, and you know, now Derek Brown is the head brewer. But like, you know, a big brewery that's successful, they lose all the. They see so much talent walk out the door because there's only one head brewer spot. Yep. You know, so you know that's kind of like the pros and cons of being a big, well-known brewery, where it's like your systems are great, your training is great, your quality is great. You're gonna lose people. Mm-hmm. I think that's interesting. Let's tell me about some collab beers that you've done. You said you've done a collab with Haggard Barrel, and you've done one with Arbiter.
Yep. I think, is that the only two we've done here so far?
Yeah, so far.
I think so.
Yeah. We had
feels like there's a closed circuit to cable. There might be a Kentucky Common collab in the near future.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go over and brew a beer at Haggard Barrel with Carl, you know, in the next few weeks.
Sweet.
So that'll be probably midsummer-ish kind of thing, I would think.
Yeah.
That's one of those things that, you know, you get two brewers trying to nail a date down.
Oh, sure.
It's always, well, I got to wash kegs that day, and the kids got to go to soccer camp that day. So we'll figure it out, though.
Yeah. That'll be cool. Yeah, I'd love to sit down with that group over there. we've exchanged cards.
But we can make that happen.
It's a real and I went there. I was hoping to bump into somebody. It's like everybody's busy. They're open. They kind of just opened the chat room like a week ago, or a week before I was there. So they had a lot going on. But I want to. I just love talking, hearing everybody's beer stories. It's such a fun industry. What are Mike? You're a musician. Mm-hmm. You go on tour.
Yes.
Do you find times to work in some brewery visits on your travels?
Oh, of course. Yeah, we always try to hit one up before the show. That's kind of our thing, if we have time. So, yeah.
What are some? Give me your top 3 breweries outside the Twin Cities that you have experienced that you would love people to go try if they're on doing like a road trip.
No pressure.
Yeah.
I've put him on the spot.
Yeah. I can never remember the name, Joshua. This one in Madison, like Brewworks.
No,
What's that?
the one in the square.
What's the Madison one? I like.
Working
Draft.
Working Draft.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I
Working
love
Draft,
that
yeah.
place.
I love Working Draft a lot. They don't have a tap room, but I always go there and buy stuff as Pipeworks in Chicago. Yeah. I'm a big Pipeworks fan. I always been. I just think all their stuff is super clean and well done.
What's their? It's something lizard.
Oh God,
Space Lizard.
Lizard.
Yeah, Space Lizard.
And then
well, they have Unicorn versus the Lizard. Like,
yeah.
So many, but
okay.
I always try to hit there for sure. There's another one, Asheville, that I can't think of the name. I know right where it is.
Where? Give me coordinates. I bet I've been there. Is it on the south slope?
Yeah, it's right down the hill.
Burial?
Yes, Burial.
Burial.
I like Burial a lot. That's a good one, too. So, but yeah, those are probably...
This is going to sound really weird, but when you were in Asheville, did you go to Bear Barbecue?
No.
Okay.
The sad part is when we're on tour, I never get to do barbecue because the guitarist that I play with is vegetarian.
Oh.
So we're all over Missouri, Kansas City, all over the place, and I never get to stop for barbecue.
That's so sad. Man.
Yeah.
I'm sad for you.
Thank you.
Because this, if you could pull a prank. Just spitballing here. You could set his alarm, slip a little NyQuil in his tea in the morning, and then all right, we've got 4 hours while our guitarist is sleeping. Go there. They have these things called moink balls.
Oh yeah.
It's like this meatball wrapped in bacon that was smoked.
Oh.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
But
so I ate there, and then Burial was the first brewery I visited when I went to Asheville a couple of summers ago. Burial is great.
It's super good.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good
So
spot.
those are kind of the 3 that stand out right now.
Yeah. How about you, Josh? I know you got kids, probably don't do a ton of traveling, but I've ventured into Wisconsin a few times for beer, but it's been in the Madison, Milwaukee area. Mm-hmm. What are some other, we share a border with the cheeseheads, and I mean on Sundays when the Vikings play the Packers, it's relations can get a little tense. But outside of that it's what are some Wisconsin breweries that you're like, if you're willing to take a little bit of a drive on a Saturday, go check this place out. Yeah. Where should we be having on our radar?
So if I were going to take a little spin out of the Twin Cities, I would go to Menominee, Wisconsin, which is maybe 45 minutes over the river.
Oh, yeah.
And Zymergy and Brewery Nanak are there. They're 2 friends of mine that came up home brewing together. Then John opened a brewery. Ryan opened a brewery. They're both great breweries. They're pretty classic styles.
Okay.
Ryan does a ton of English styles. John does a lot of English.
You had me at
styles.
English styles.
And you're not gonna go find your hype boy hazy.
Yeah.
But the beers are killer.
Okay.
The people are amazing, and it's just 2 guys in a small town that are just doing their thing, and it's super cool. Probably my biggest vice is New Glarus Moon Man. It's their New Glarus's pale ale.
Yeah.
And I don't want my wife to know how much money I still spend on Moon Man. So, but that's been for years and years. Yeah, I mean, we go up and, work in the North Woods a couple weekends a year with some buddies from high school, and somehow by Saturday we'd went through 5 cases of Moon Man, and I was like, the math doesn't work.
Not all heroes wear capes.
But
that's amazing.
Yeah, it was something.
Yeah.
And
New Glarus is a fantastic place.
that brewery is amazing.
It almost feels like you're not in the United States anymore, because it's like you feel like you're in Europe.
Oh, you're in Switzerland.
Like
if you
they're
go to
their
New
beer
Glarus,
garden
yeah.
overlooking the rolling hills. It's just such a neat
Yep.
place.
Yep. And I grew up in that kind of southwest corner of Wisconsin, in the Driftless area, where it's all hills and valleys, and that New Glarus feels like home.
Yeah.
To me, that tap room is insane.
Well, it's such a neat little town too. When I went there, I've been there twice. One time we went, there was like a little fudge shop, and they had fudge that they made with the raspberry serendipity or whatever.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, this is... Shocker, not all the fudge was intact when I got home, okay? I don't want to get any hate mail. I am aware of my A1C. I don't need anybody piling on. But yeah, New Glarus is really cool.
Love it. Yeah.
Very, very, very cult. They do not distribute outside of Wisconsin.
No.
I think that's brilliant.
I do too.
I don't know why more people, I'm talking big distribution breweries, don't just do that. Because
I think it's so smart for them to keep it up, because there's been so many breweries that have stretched out into 28 states, and now everybody's retracting and everything.
Yeah.
But New Glarus is like, there's a new dive bar up in the middle of nowhere in Grant County.
Yeah.
Well, they need Spotted Cow. And every brewery or every bar, I mean, you can go anywhere in Wisconsin, and I guarantee you can find a Spotted Cow.
Yeah.
So you don't get to the bars where your choices are Coors Light, Miller Lite, or Bud Light. There's always a Spotted Cow. So even the beer nerds can go anywhere.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Well, also, like, you can get, like, I love Minnesota. I've lived here my entire life. But you can get New Glarus at the gas station. Like, and not just, like, one kind. Like, multiple kinds.
Yeah.
Like, that's just crazy to me. Yeah, New Glarus is...
Yeah, you can get it anywhere.
New Glarus is awesome. So tell me about, like, craft beer is special to a lot of people for different reasons. As we kind of wrap up here, I want to know, what is it about this industry? It's not easy. You bought this brewery. It's called Gambit. You knew it was a risk, but what about this industry makes you happy that you took that risk?
Honestly, my favorite thing about this whole deal is the days that I just come and sit down at the corner of the bar and nobody knows who I am. They don't know I made the beer. They don't know nothing. And you just strike up a conversation about the guy. Well, I just bought a new truck. I thought I'd come in and celebrate and have a beer. So, well, that's cool. What are you drinking? What do you and you can talk to the most random people, and even if they never know I have anything to do with the brewery, it's the people that come in, and as soon as they come in here, everybody seems more open to chit chat. You can just build random friendships. I'll probably never see that guy that just bought his new Ford Maverick again, but I remember him. Yeah. Because he was so psyched that he bought this truck that he left the dealership, came down here and parked, and came in and had a beer. And was like, look at this. Look at my truck. He took pictures. I saw pictures of his new truck on his phone. And that was maybe the first week we were open, and I still remember that guy. And if he walked in here today, I'd be like, "Oh, how's your truck?"
That's so cool. That's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Mike?
Yeah, for me, it's more of you kind of get to create a party every day, being part of the front of the house and the engagement piece and just working with our amazing staff, front of the house, our team. That's what I love. I love, and I will be honest, I love when my husband walks in and he has the twinkle of like seeing what I do every day, and
Yeah.
he's like, "This is so cool!" Like,
Yeah.
like, and how proud he is, and that we are out here fighting for it and doing it and creating employment and doing all that kind of stuff. I think that's what I really love about it. You know?
Yeah.
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 And our team outings are pretty amazing.
Oh,
Yeah.
tell me about that. Drunken skee ball.
Two words. Shit show.
All right, I feel like we need to delve into this a little bit. Okay, team outings. What? How often do these outings happen?
We try to do 2 a year, and some we'll go out and go, mini golf or whatever. Or I just invite everyone to my house, and I, do a big, grill out, and
Okay.
we just hang out and just have time. And like when we talk about team outings, it's not just our staff. We have regulars, like Mitch was there, and
Okay.
Jonathan, and
Yeah.
people that will just come, and if we're short, and will help pour at events for us. Like,
Yeah.
that's our team. I mean, our team is people that are here every day. It's not necessarily people on payroll.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's cool. I mean, for a lot of reasons, like the breweries, you can kind of feel like it's a kind of a chosen family type situation.
yeah,
When you are regular at a place or you walk in and you kind of look forward to certain bartenders and things like that. I think about a lot of times, I love to go to Uda Pills for their beer, obviously, but like when Tom is there, like Tom is a great guy. You call him Old Blue Eyes. He has the bluest eyes of anybody I've ever met. I mean, back in the day, I'm sure he has never had trouble getting a date. He's got crazy blue eyes, but he used to be at Northgate back in the day, and Northgate closed, and I was really sad about that brewery going away. I was like, how will I see Tom again? Like, how will I? And then he got a job at Uda Pills, and he's been there ever since. And I was like, I can go see Tom, and it's just that is a part of it, where sometimes like if you like. Beer's important. Don't get me wrong. You have to have high quality beer and everything like that. But like sometimes, like I am more excited about the people behind the beer, and I just think that's so special. And I think that like if every place, if you've got a good staff, there's people that the regulars and just like random people become regulars because of the people pouring. I will say that like. When I came here just by myself on a random Saturday after navigating the parking of the whatever European market, I hope I never have to do that again. But like I sat down and I met Grace, and she was super nice, chatted with me about the beers, and that means a lot. I wasn't the only one here, so she was busy, but like just that understanding of like, I'm not just canning you a drink. I'm like engaging with you and making sure that this is a fun experience for you and that you'll want to come back. And that's so important. Yeah. And I think you do a nice job of that here. And so for those of you listening, if you haven't been to Gambit Brewing yet, you got to come down because it's a cool place. The beers are really tasty. And if you come on Thursday, you get to see DJ Scallybrad spinning the vinyl. So these beers are delicious. I've really enjoyed our conversation today.
So have I.
So I want to thank you both for having me in.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
So this has been another on-location episode of a One Pint Stand here at Gambit Brewing in Lowertown, St. Paul. Let's get a cheers. I love to do the sound effect here. I had a great time chatting with Mike and Josh at Gambit Brewing. In craft beer, I've met a lot of people who I realized just after 5 minutes of getting to know them that they were quality individuals. In the case of Mike and Josh, they are quality people who have created an inclusive space for people to enjoy quality beers. Also, if you go, do not sleep on the pizzas. I had a Lowertown hot honey pizza, and it was so delicious. I love the little sweet and spicy honey note. And then that paired really well with the pepperoni and sausage, and there's just the right amount of cheese for me. Ooh, very, as the French say, yummy. More important than the beer and food at Gambit is the fact that they have become a safe space for a lot of different people. Now, as we're in the middle of Pride Month, I just wanted to thank Gambit's staff for being a safe haven for the GLBTQ plus community. Yes, this podcast is about beer. But as a member of the human race, I believe it is imperative that we all try to make things better for everyone. The interviews I do are about people, and I love it when I can meet and help support good people doing important things. So get down to Gambit Brewing if you haven't been before. You'll be happy you did. They have a great variety of beers for all palates, as well as a unique subterranean tap room filled with music, good vibes, and caring people. Now, I want to give a special thank you to Marcus Dodson, Chuck Dorsey, Vicky Epper, Daniel Fisher, Todd Fitzloff, Laura Fleischfresser, Matt Holton, Cable Lefto, Ben Michaels, Sophia Masagi, Brent Newman, Bree Smith, Jesse Storms, Sarah Cry-Valento, and Brian Wu for being keg standard level supporters of the One Pint Stand Patreon. You've all shown incredible generosity, and I'm grateful for it. Cheers to you all. Before we leave, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor for this episode, 56 Brewing. After finding something for everyone on the menu, explore the various spaces of the brewery and discover all of the eclectic pieces that fit together to make 56 Brewing the Northeast neighborhood favorite it is today. So with that, I want to say thank you for listening, and this has been another episode of A One Pint Stand, a Minnesota craft beer podcast where the pants stay on, but the caps come off. Cheers.
Hey, I can't pay you, but I have all this equipment.
But I give a great back rub after a long, hard day of shucking grain bags.
Right. Yeah. He owes me a few back rubs. Right.